+2 chemistry unit on metallurgy, extraction of metals. In this extraction of crude metals from concentrated ore, the steps 2. Smelting is the process we are discussing. In the previous video, we discussed about smelting, by which we extracted the iron, and now in this video, smelting process, extraction of copper we are going to see. This process is carried out in reverberatory furnace. In the reverberatory furnace, the copper pyrites is the ore mixed with silica is taken. This silica is used here as a flux, which is with acidic nature, and this flux silica is mixed with copper pyrite, and when these two are reacting, the ferrous oxide, which is the ferrous present in the copper pyrite, is converted into its ferrous oxide. This ferrous oxide is basic in nature. So this basic in nature ferrous oxide is reacting with silica, which is already in acidic nature, and the process between these two is neutralized with each other, and the ferrous silicate is formed, that is removed in the form of slag. So here if you see the equations given, this copper pyrites reacting with the oxygen and this FeS and Cu2S, both are in the liquid forms. They are mutually dissolving with each other and they forms a matte which is called copper matte, and sulfur dioxide is evolved. This copper matte is as such removed separately and it is added into the converting furnace further. In the converting furnace, this ferrous sulphide, which is present in the copper matte, is oxidized into ferrous oxide again, and sulfur dioxide is removed. This ferrous oxide which is remaining here is reacting with the flux, which is with acidic nature, converted into slag. So these three equations are very important equations in which slag is removed and as well as iron is removed, and this copper sulphide alone is in the form of liquid. That is taken in the next step. So in the separation of metallic copper, this copper sulphide present in the matte is reacting with oxygen and converted into Cu2O, and sulfur dioxide is evolved. This Cu2O further reacting with the remaining copper sulphide present, and it is converted into metallic copper, that is 6Cu plus SO2. This metallic copper obtained here is named as blistered copper because gas with sulfur dioxide is evolved in the process is making blisters on the surface of the metal. So this copper is named as blistered copper. So in this process, if you see this ferrous sulphide liquid form and Cu2S, this is copper sulphide in the liquid form, both they are mutually dissolving, so that this mixture is named as copper matte, and this copper, from this copper matte only FeO is removed by removed as slag in the converting furnace, and finally the metallic copper is separated. In this process, the copper metal is extracted, and this copper finally named as blistered copper. When you go for the questions, if they ask you how the copper metal is extracted using the smelting process, you want to write everything what is given here and write the list of the things taken, copper pyrite plus silica, and the nature of the silica, and what is used here as flux, silica is used here as flux, and how that flux is acting and converting this iron present in the pyrite also can be explained. Ferrous oxide is formed. The nature of ferrous oxide is basic. These are all the keywords to be remembered, and finally that ferrous silicate is separated. After the separation of ferrous silicate, if you see, this iron is separated in the first equation itself. And now very important 2 mark questions if you see in this part, that is copper matte. What is copper matte can be asked, or what is blistered copper, why it is named so can be asked. So with all these things altogether, if you write, it may be a 3 mark or 5 mark question, or separately if they ask such type of questions like blistered copper or copper matte, maybe 2 mark question. Even onward answers also can be asked using this. And what is the name of the furnace used here? There are 2 different types of furnace are mentioned in the content, that is reverberatory furnace in the first equation for the first equation, and the converting furnace for the next 2 equations. So remember all these keywords and write this completely if it is asked in the examination. And in our next video, we can see using carbon how the metallic oxides are reduced, that is reduction using carbon. In the next video, we can see this topic. Thank you.